Hello and welcome to the Red Zone, viewers. This week we'll be reviewing Super Smash Bros. 4. Super Smash Bros. Is a fighting game developed by Nintendo and Namco and released on the Wii U in November of 2014. While this fourth installment of the series also has a 3DS counterpart, this review will be focusing solely on the Wii U version. The story in this Smash Bros. Is the same as most games. Nintendo figurines from various franchises come to life to duke it out and see who the best fighter is. Now, if you've never played a Smash Bros. Game before, first of all, that's just impressive. But let me explain. In Smash Bros., 2 or more 3D characters are placed in a 3D stage but on a 2D plane to duke it out using either their basic or signature moves, both of which have Smash variants. These allow characters to deal damage and slowly but surely knock each other off the stage. There are also stage hazards and random item drops, which can either reduce damage, create hazards themselves, or be used as weapons. Smash Bros. Can be played with either one person versus the computer, multiple people versus each other, or some combination of the two. So all this is fairly standard for the series. So what's new? Well, a lot. Like, a lot. But let's start with the basics. Gone is the Subspace Emissary single-player mode from previous entry, Brawl. Instead, we still have Classic and All-Star modes, which will still allow you to select a character, a difficulty, and fight a specified number of opponents. Completing matches will still reward you with gold, trophies, and the potential to unlock more characters and stages. However, you can also be rewarded with upgrades, which can be used to customize the 50+ character roster, but are even more fun when you turn your Mii into a Mii fighter, where you can not only customize their movesets and appearance, but also choose between 3 different types of fighters: Brawler, Sword Fighter, or Gunner. I'm partial to a Sword Fighter, and quite enjoy the pirate costume, but to each their own. Other single-player endeavors returning to the game include the Events and Stadium mode, which are joined by Trophy Rush and Master Orders. Now, Trophy Rush is kind of like a block drop game where you have to rack up points in order to unlock more trophies and equipment. And the Master Orders can be thought of like special matches, which you have to actually pay gold to participate in, but which yield higher results. A special version of this is called Crazy Orders, where you can actually string multiple orders together under a time limit, in which you must also defeat Crazy Hand in order to retain all your rewards. Another new mode is Smash Tour, which can be played with one person versus multiple CPU opponents, but is much more fun with multiple human players. In Smash Tour, players roll a number between 1 and 6 to move around a board and collect different items and fighters, which can then be combined to fight other players' fighters. It's kind of like Mario Party meets Smash Bros. Of course, one of the biggest additions to Smash 4 is the Amiibo support, which allows you to add, level up, and customize your Amiibo as either support characters or opponents. So now, the idea of Nintendo figurines coming to life to duke it out is more real than ever. Sort of. But seriously, the list of features in Smash 4 is so long that I can't even remember them all. I've tried, trust me, I've tried. This scene? Not working. Keep forgetting them. So instead of trying to recite them to you, I'm just going to think them at you.
Smash, 8-player Smash, Special Smash, Classic Mode, All-Star Mode, Events, Stadium, Stage Builder, Custom Characters, Trophies, Replays, Albums, Movies, Sounds, Records, Masterpieces, and Tips. Online, you can play with friends, with anyone, in Conquest, or just spectate. You can play for fun or for glory, and go it alone or play in a team. You'll even be able to create your own tournaments.
So what about the gameplay? Has adding all these new features meant that the gameplay is less polished than in Smash Bros. Games of years gone by? Nope. The characters are still just as balanced, the levels are still just as well designed, and the controls are as responsive and effective as ever. The pace of this game does seem to be a little bit faster than Brawl, and a little bit slower than Melee, which is pretty much perfect in my opinion, and the ledge grabs do seem to last a little bit longer. On the downside, some parts of Smash do feel a little bit samey, like the Events, Classic, and All-Star mode. You know, they feel almost like you know exactly what's coming before you've even gone through with even half of the characters. But then I go online get the absolute snot kick out of me, and remember that the gameplay in Smash Bros. Is a lot deeper and a lot more evolved than I actually give it credit for. I mean, just because you can smash A your way through most of the easier difficulties in single-player mode, doesn't mean that's all there is to the game, especially once you start facing off against some tougher opponents. Although, in fairness, for me, most opponents are tougher opponents. In all honesty, Smash Bros. Feels like its biggest drawback is also its biggest strength. The game is only at its best when you can gather a few friends around for some good old-fashioned, local, multiplayer beat-em-up action. The new additions and features are all great, and don't get me wrong, they're a ton of fun, but they're nothing compared to the local multiplayer experience. Now, to be fair, the new online mode, including the ability to make your own tournament, does make it a little easier to work around people's real-life schedules. Despite these minor drawbacks, I would still give Smash Bros. For Wii U a 9.5 out of 10. It's a smashing good time. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Smash Bros, or if you're thinking of picking this game up. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends, and in the meantime, stay in the zone.